Before we get into this tutorial, be sure to check out our YouTube short about binary.
01110011010. What?
Welcome to the Techie Tessie channel. My name is Tess, and today we're going to be talking about binary. We've all seen the movies where there's a bunch of ones and zeros flying across the screen, but that's not how it is in real life. Binary code is just the language that computers use to understand. So if you're writing code in Python, for example, the lines of code will eventually be turned into ones and zeros so the computer can understand the instructions. So don't worry, you won't have to be typing in any ones and zeros in this tutorial. It's just fun to understand the underlying process of how numbers and letters can be generated in binary. So without much further ado, let's get started. Let's take a look at how regular numbers are calculated first. Take the number 10. We have a 1 in the tens column and a 0 in the units column. Hence why we call this number 10. A similar structure is followed when calculating binary numbers, but instead of going up in powers of 10, we go up in powers of 2. So if we take the number 10 again, we have a 1 in the 2's column and a 0 in the 1's column. This means we have the number 2. The most common representation of binary you will see is 8-bit binary, as 8 bits make something called a byte, but that's for another video. You can more clearly see how our scale goes up in powers of 2, essentially doubling each time. Here's another example. Pause the video for a moment to calculate the number. The answer is 20. Here's how we work it out. We look for number 1s in the sequence. There's a 1 in the 16 column and a 1 in the 4 column. And 16 plus 4 equals 20. So now we know how to generate numbers in binary, but what about letters? To calculate the values of different letters, we give each letter of the English alphabet a value from 1, which is A, all the way down to Z, which is 26. Looking at this example, you may be confused as to why we have a 1 in the 64 column, as there are only 26 letters in the alphabet. With letters, the first 3 columns aren't used in the calculation, as they're above 26. But they do hold some interesting information. The combination 0, 1, 0 tells us that this is a capital letter. But if it was 0, 1, 1, it would be a lowercase letter. The rest of the columns, though, are the same as before. We just add up the ones. In this case, we have a 1 in the 4 column. And if you remember from the previous slide, the 4th letter of the alphabet is D. And since we know this is a capital, we know this letter is a capital D. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. Keep the code coming, and I'll see you next time.